I tell you, man, first things first, man, I'm still recovering. I said I'm still recovering. I ain't talking about Bell's palsy. I'm talking about from the death of Joel on The Last of Us. Yeah, man, what the hell, man? The hell? I mean, look, I'm on the second episode of the new season. I'm like, yes, it's back. And it killed my guy. You know, no warning. You know what I'm saying? Anne Hesh Ghost killed my guy. One of the Olsen twins killed my guy. I'm like, man, come on, Johnson. Come on, man. And some people are comparing this to Glenn when he got offed in The Walking Dead. Remember when they got Glenn? No one saw that coming. Remember that? We didn't care too much about the ginger, but Glenn was the guy, you know what I'm saying? Crazy. So, but see, to me, man, it goes further than Glenn. That's white folks. White folks lost their minds when Glenn got off. Man, them killing Joel, the way they killed him and killing Joel off of The Last of Us, man, I had Bodie from The Wire vibes, man. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man, I had Bodie from The Wire vibes, baby. I mean, you don't do that. You don't do that. You don't do that. So like straight up white man. You don't do that. You don't do that. It's inappropriate. Kill off a main character, no warning, no nothing. Jesus Christ, the nerve of these people. No home training. In the honorable words of T.K. Kirkland, who raised you? Man. So I'm still recovering, man. I'm on edge. I keep seeing Pedro Pascal beat to a bloody Pope laying on the ground. And it's like, no, like, just like Bodie, you can't come back from that. You know what I'm saying? You can't come back from that. Remember when Bodie got killed off The Wire? They shot him in the head twice. My dumb ass still had hope. Well, maybe he's got a metal plate in his head he didn't know about, and the bullet bounced off the metal plate. Maybe he's just sleeping. Yeah, man, you know what I'm saying? So I'm having a rough week, man. You know what I'm saying? You know, because I don't watch things when they come out. I watch them when I had time to watch them. So I just got a chance to watch it like yesterday, man. Yeah, man. So excuse me, man, if I don't have time to go back and forth with the morons, man. In fact, I'm still upset about them, kind of cranky about it, about them killing my guy off like that. Somebody gonna get it tonight. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna have to do a Shannon Sharpe. Shannon Sharpe, I'm gonna choke you in public. Y'all heard this grown ass man? I'm gonna choke you in public. Oh man. Hey. There was a couple of people that said, Tim Black, you ain't go hard enough. I mean, she's of age. It's creepy what he did. What Shannon Sharpe did was creepy, okay? But it wasn't illegal. How mean can I be to a guy who had what appears to me to be consensual relations with somebody that makes him look very creepy? It does make him look creepy. Now, if he did any of the other stuff, I don't know. I don't know if he broke the law. I don't know. She was 19, man, when he hollered at the gym. I don't know, man. Y'all do realize he gonna lose his job, right? Y'all know that, right? Okay, just making sure. Nobody be surprised. Don't come in here tomorrow all surprised when tomorrow you wake up and be like, Shannon Sharpe is no longer employed by ESPN. Don't be surprised, man, because more stuff's going to keep coming out, man. Yeah, man, America's not ready to hear tapes of Shannon Sharpe playing slave, catch the slave with a 21-year-old white girl, man. They're just not ready. Nah, man, ESPN, like, they like sports. They say sports is a great uniter of the races. It makes people forget all that stuff and focus on the game. Yeah, it's going to be hard for a lot of the good old boys, man, to forget. They ain't gonna be able to overlook this. They ain't gonna be able to get past it. From FS1 to FS snuff film, FS bondage. I don't know. It is what it is, man. And you know what's disgusting about all of it besides the obvious? It's the people that are kind of like defending it, like Tim Black. Come on, man. It's obvious the woman's a pro. Dog, look, I'm not even talking about what she did. I'm talking about him. Him 55, man. He's 55. When young guys do dumb things, you go, you get on them, but you also thinking, well, you're young. You got to learn. You know what I'm saying? But when you almost 60 and you still when you doing what 25-year-olds do, come on, man. You ain't see this coming? And it also leads to narcissism. It's narcissistic why does Shannon Sharpe think she liked him? You understand what I'm saying? Come on, man. Look, I don't go around judging guys. But anybody with eyes will see Shannon Sharpe is in good shape. But Shannon Sharpe is in good shape for a 55-year-old man. He's not in good shape for a 22-year-old dude. A 22-year-old man. You know what I'm saying? He look good for 56. He don't look good for 22 or 25. And the fact he think he did look that way. It reminds me of a scene from Devil in a Blue Dress. Remember Devil in a Blue Dress with the old boy's girl? She knew something to do with Daphne. She knew something about the girl that was passing Daphne, and they killed her in the thing. Remember that? And Easy was talking to the guy, and I forget the character's name, but he was like, they took my baby. They took my baby, and she fought him off. She fought him off because she wouldn't have nobody but me. That's Shannon Sharpe. Dumb. Because Daphne, his girl, whatever her name was, Nicole, the one that went crazy? Some black lady who went crazy. She ain't been in nothing. She used to be with Ally McBeal. Now I'm all over the place because people don't know what I'm talking about. You got to be a down-ass sister or brother to know what I'm talking about. And if you are a white American and you know what I'm talking about, you John Brown level. You know what I'm saying? How you going to know The Wire, Devil in a Blue Dress, and nobody, Easy Rollins? Come on, man. You, come here, you. She wouldn't have nobody but me. She had just been with Denzel earlier. She was in Easy the night before. She wouldn't have nobody but me. She fought them all. That's Shannon Sharpe. Shannon Sharpe actually think the 20-year-old liked him for him. But first thing, Brittany, I'm not listening to no this brother stutter rap you doing, this mumble rap. I don't listen to that. We gonna listen to some Al Green. Stop. Listen to Al Green. That's what we gonna do. You ain't gonna sit up here playing me on that mumble rap. I don't do that mumble rap. Put some clothes on your ass. Why you coming down out here without no clothes on your ass? I'm gonna choke you. You ain't got no clothes on. You got to coming out here with me with no clothes on. Skip. Come on, Skip. Come on, Brittany. Go get my Bengay from my back. I go get my Bengay from my back now. Get my purple pills and my blue pills and my cholesterol pills and my. Yeah, man. Look, man. Let me tell all this old ass dudes. Let me tell all the old brothers. Your wallet. How my Lord say? Throw down your wallet. That's it, man. Throw down your wallet. Don't make us all suffer. Yeah, man, if you running around delusional with a woman that's a third your age, talking about, we really got a lot in common. Somebody need to come get you. You know what I'm saying? Somebody need to come get you. Yeah, man. So, yeah. Come on now, Bray. Come on, Bray. I'm upset now, Bray. I'm upset, Bray. They're gonna be tearing his boy. How you lose $100 million deal? Man, sisters, black women right now. Sisters they're having a field day on this one, man. They are having a field day. I hate to be on TikTok. I hate to be on TikTok in one of them forums. You know them forums where everybody be debating. They be like the debate of the sexes. You know, this is a topic of conversation. You can't defend it. Because it's usually like those forums that be like a couple women and a couple guys be like arguing who's worse, men or women and shit. Shannon just gave the entire male, just gave all the black men a huge L. You know what I'm saying? Snow Bunny Patrol. They are tearing us up. They are tearing us up, man. Antonio Daniels, I know he up here talking now. Antonio Daniels looks like Dilbert. It ain't like a Dilbert with a beard. $1 million. All right, look, guys, look. He's killing it, though. He's killing it. No shade, he's killing it. Getting that paper. I wish I was as successful. I just got to keep on working, man, so I can be good at this one day. Yeah, so I can be good one day. Oh, that's right. This is a politics show. My bad. I forgot, man. It's politics, black culture, breaking news. I guess it counts. It counts. Yeah. I got a couple stories I want to get to tonight, man. I'm going to hit some stories. Tim Blacks Woodpackers in the house. They tuned in. Yeah, they here, man. Woggy and Nick. Nick Hawkins in the building. Arlene Chambers. Cornell Rain. Tobias Grove. My people came through. Crime is in the house. Diamond G. DJ Hens. What? DJ Han Solo. I said Hens. DJ Han Solo in the building. What's up, man? Truth Seekers in the building. What's up, Truth? What's up, True Lion and Truth Seeker? Same building. That's all right. Yo, Cat Negrita's in the house. How you doing, Cat? Payroll. Up. Gotta make payroll, baby. What's up, Sherry? Cherie, what's up? How you doing? I be imagining who people are. I don't know. Sherry could be, I don't know who Sherry is. But I'm like, how you doing? Like I know people. Hey, Jay, what's up, JJ? Candy Rain. Nidra, what's up? Yo, what is going on, man? Look, Erica Wilson, she came through. Just showing everybody what time it is. JD Lee is up in the house. What's up, JD? How you doing, Jay? DeAndre in the building. DeAndre's in the house. What's up, DeAndre? Yeah, man. Now, look, tonight's show, man. Look, man, give it up for my people, y'all. Stop playing. Yo, tonight's show is brought to you by the Tim Black Legacy mug. You get this mug. It's a Tim Black Politics for the People mug, okay? It's for the people. Politics for the people, not politics for the billionaires and the millionaires. Politics for the people, yo. Get that mug, dishwasher, microwave safe. $20 to your door. I just had a shipment go out today. To this day. To this day. To this very day. I had a shipment go out today, man. So we'll do another shipment on Friday. If we get the numbers up. Excuse me, Johnson. That was kind of rude. Yeah, man. Give it up, give it up, give it up, give it up. So go to timblackmug.com with your $20. Yo, man, look, guys, I'm trying out a new ChatGPT model. It's called Venice. Venice, yeah, it's in the description of my videos. If you use the code Tim Black, you get a discount. And if you don't use like one of the Chat GPT type technologies to like make your life easier and to accomplish more, you behind, yo. Real talk, man. I'm just telling you. I've been using ChatGPT for 2 years. You know what I'm saying? I've been using this technology for 2 years. I get more done than I've ever gotten done before. So it's crucial in my business. I can't tell you how beneficial it's been to me. So if you want to try it, use my code, save some money. They're not a sponsor, but I'm an affiliate. So they ain't responsible for nothing I say, and I ain't responsible for them either. Ain't no contracts. But if you use it, use my code, I get a little kick. You know what I'm saying? Same thing with Amazon. If you click on my Amazon link and then go to Amazon, it helps the channel. You know? So if you're gonna go do some shopping for a friend or a birthday, or whatever you're gonna do, come over here, click my link, and then just do what you normally do, and they'll give me a little cut. You know what I'm saying? So you know what I'm saying? You know what it is. I want y'all to remember, this is a show, but more than anything, it's just a conversation. You know what I'm saying? Look, I give you the facts to the best of my ability, and then the rest of it is just my opinion. Okay? But now, mind you, my opinion is 13 years in media, 20 years in federal contracting, 20 years in public speaking. So, I've been around. You know what I'm saying? I've been around. You know, family guy, raised kids. I've done some stuff. So, I know, I'm not going to say my opinion don't mean nothing, but it is just an opinion. What I can guarantee you is not influenced by parties. That's what I can tell you. So, I'm going to give you the facts. I'm going to give you my opinion. But, people get mad at my opinion. I'd be like, dog. It's an opinion. It's an opinion. You got opinions, don't you? You be around your house with opinions. Somebody come, somebody's jumping your life like, what you doing having that opinion? You're not a good person. These people be acting like they own me. Nah, man. It's 2025, not 1825. I be running into some white boys to this day. To this day, I run into white boys on Facebook. Tim Black. Jesus Christ, Tim Black. Jesus, I can't believe you. Like, who are you, white boy? Believe it. Philip? What do we believe in? I'm sorry. I can't believe you, Tim Black. I'm like, I'm sorry, man. I don't. When did we meet again? I'm sorry. I went through my list of people that support the show. You're not one of them. Did I meet you at a live show? Because I went to a few places. I went to Philly, Baltimore. I did the show in Baltimore. Did the thing in D.C. I've been to Portland, Salt Lake, Pittsburgh. I've been some places where no, I've never been to any of those. And no, I don't support your show and never have. But I can't believe it. Your opinion's changed. Oh. God. I'm just going to go ahead and empty out a vein right here, Johnson. You got me. These people crazy, man. They crazy. They crazy. That's why they be going postal, man, be shooting up the schools and shit. That's why they do it, man. They just fly off the handle. You don't control me, goofy. What is wrong with people? You don't control. The only person that has any rights is my mama. Love you, Mom, if you're watching. Love you, baby. And Mrs. Black. That's it. That's it. I tell you, man, these people crazy, Johnson. Man, we're going to have a good time, Johnson. Yeah, we're going to have a good time. Look, man, the name of the topic tonight is Crockett versus Elon. DEI drama. Byron burned. And the Dems are spiraling around the drain, Johnson. That's what they do, spiraling, going around. That's one of my favorite Corey Holcomb jokes. It's Corey dumb, man. Corey don't care, man. All right, John. I ain't gonna I can't repeat his joke, but I could just. Corey dumb, man. If you know, you know. Y'all ready for some all right, now y'all ready for the man Shaq? Shaq play ball. Shaq in the building. Shaq make money. Shaq attack. I made all the money. I get money. I make money. I do the money thing. I made it in business. I do the podcast. I go to the podcast in the big. I'm big Shaq. I made money. It's a big Shaq. I got all the money. Y'all ready for some content? Let's get into the content, fam. Smoke them if you got them. All right, guys, welcome back to the Tim Black Show. We about to get live, man. Before we get live, I want to remind y'all, so one of the things we're doing in this show, we're going to start so slowly as I bring y'all about, we're going to start doing this. Remember, guys, this is the momentum. As we use our momentum to get the word out, we move to this. They told you, work hard, stay out of trouble, go to school. What they didn't tell you is the rules were never written for you to win. Meanwhile, billionaires get richer and you're praying your tithes last another month. They don't care if you break your back. They just want you quiet. Nah, not anymore. We're done being silent. The system ain't broken, it was built this way. That's right, folks. The system ain't broken. It was built this way. Yeah, that's the new one, man. We got to ride for the working class. So we are always, whenever I'm talking about, I'm never talking about the elites. I'm always talking about the working class folks. That's who I come from. That's what I am today. So that's the vein. That's where the launching pad is for all content that we do on this channel. As we fight for Black Americans, we're fighting for working class folks. It's very important. I want to make sure people understand that. All right, let's go, Johnson. Y'all ready? Let's get into it. Here we go with the first bit of content. I got some clips. Let's rock. Let's roll.
Next on deck with Tim Black.
The problem is that the right wing, hello, Scott, has taken advantage of this situation, I think, quite cleverly, quite wisely. They've played into a weakness.
What situation?
The situation of media being under attack. And so they've created a situation where...
You've almost got it. Keep going. What the right wing is taking advantage of is finally the American people saying enough is enough. They're tired of feeling like the mass media screens out one viewpoint versus another in political coverage. They're tired of media institutions favoring one party over another. They're tired of narratives over factual stories. If I had any advice for 60 Minutes or anybody else, it would be just cover the news and try to be fair about it and stop putting your finger on the scale, especially during campaigns.
You're talking about the old mass media myth that you could have this thing that was in the middle. The Walter Cronkite saying, that's the way it is, when it wasn't for many Americans the way it was. When people were pissed off.
People back in those days trusted the media, didn't they?
No, they just couldn't be heard because there was no two-way. Now we have the internet.
Look at the Gallup polling. It was here, and now it's here. It's fallen off of a cliff.
Yeah, we do have that Gallup polling about trust in media, and now, as in recent years, and let's be honest, Scott, a lot of this is driven by the rhetoric on your side of the aisle. I mean, it's not.
You think it's driven by the rhetoric and not the performance?
Absolutely.
But my point is this: if you're CBS or any other news outlet, the reason that you have lost trust ought to be obvious to you, and the way to fix it also ought to be obvious to you, and it has nothing to do with Donald Trump and everything to do with the product. Just try to make a better product that appeals to more people. And the way you appeal to more people is by not crapping on half or more than half of the country because of their values and political viewpoints.
I think that is
what you'd end up with in that press room then is, and these are my words, the freak show that Trump wants. Trump tries to devalue media. Why should we value his freak show there? Leave it to the freaks.
I think calling them freaks.
I don't think there's any disagreement on that, by the way.
I mean, he called these new media sources the freak show. They're not freaks. They have audiences.
Some of them are.
They have audiences, and there's a reason that they're thriving is because people are starved for information that they think they can trust. They're not freaks. They're filling a need in this country, in my opinion.
All right,
Next on deck.
Yeah, that was some elitist shit. Wasn't it from that old dude, man? Old dude said, if you come to the Tim Black show, you're a freak. Nah, that's, man. I think, what was it? Yeah. What was the guy, the mainstream guy that had the trap door? Was it Matt Lauer? Yeah, Matt Lauer's a freak, sir. Yeah, Matt Lauer's a freak. The one that was getting millions of dollars and had a trap door in his office and a lock that locked. He could hit a button and lock his door from his desk. The one who used to catch a plane in and out of the office, catch a helicopter to work every day. That still ain't back in media because he's so horrible. He was so destructive to women. That's a freak. But back to the larger point, man. Democrats just cannot accept. They cannot accept that they suck. And neither can media. The media is tied to the Democratic Party. So went the Democrats, so did media. Media tried to save the Democratic Party. They tried to save it. Folks, their own worst enemy is themselves. They are their own worst enemy. If the media hadn't been lying for Joe Biden, the natural course of things would have meant he would have had to step down. You would have had your first black woman, Indian, Asian, you would have had your first Jamaican president, right? Half woman, there you go. First woman, because Biden would have had to step down. At least he would have been president in the interim, right? See, no one talks about these things. That's why you got to tune into us freaks in independent media, because we'll tell you the real deal. So the Democrats lied to protect Biden. Corporate media lied to protect Biden, and they end up biting him in the ass because they ain't do nothing but had Trump sitting there waiting, sharpening his katana blades, waiting for his opportunity to come back and deliver revenge. He came back 4 years later with that dish soaked, a cold dish of revenge. Y'all had to eat it. Now you got to keep on eating for the next 3 and 4, almost 4 years. This guy's such a fossil. And it's his in the sand, Johnson. Him and Abby, their idea is that if it wasn't for the Republicans calling corporate media fake news, people would be trusting it. Man, folks, the reality is there are very few relationships where somebody can just lie on you and people just believe it. It's hard as hell to lie on a news organization and people just believe it, because you have every day to go on the news and disprove them. You have every day to go and disprove any smear about yourself. It's different when you lie on somebody and they don't have newspapers or magazines or cable news in order to refute the claims. So you can't play victim. CNN or MSNBC or CBS or ABC or New York Times or Washington Post. None of the cable news can play victim because they could have always redeemed themselves. I'll tell you, like most others, one of the first major lies I saw was Trump and the escalator. A lot of people use that, and it pisses me off because I've been talking about this for years. Then I saw other people saying, that was the first time I ever. Like, you watch the Timberlake show, you probably do. But when they lied about Donald Trump, when Donald Trump said, when they said that Donald Trump said, I see good people on both sides, about what happened in Charlottesville. And then he said right after, he said, look, I'm not talking about the Nazis. There's no place for Nazis in our society. I'm talking about the people that wanted the monuments up and the ones that wanted them down. That's what I'm talking about. And I saw every corporate news media entity lie. They lied, like everybody lied. The president of the United States lied about it. I was like, what? This is when was that? 2016? 2017 when that happened? Folks, that to me was like that wasn't the only moment. That's one of those moments when you lose faith. You lose faith in corporate media totally, man. And being as an independent person who has relied on Associated Press, I didn't know the Associated Press lied like a regular old company. So I don't know where this guy's getting it. You know, if somebody can come into someone can meet your wife today and tell her that you are garbage, that you're a bad person, that you're horrible, and tell them horrible things about you, and they just believe it, that says a lot about the relationship that you have with your wife. Same thing goes the other way. If your husband can meet a woman, bump into a woman on the street that they don't have a real relationship with, and that person tell them, yo, your wife she's horrible, she did this, she did that, and then they just believe it without evidence, what kind of relationship do you have? See how I put things very simple? So this old kook in Abby, the liar, because that's what she's doing, she's lying, and I'm getting tired of Abby lying too. Old dude and Abby are lying, saying that people lost faith in media because somebody bumped into them on the street and told them stuff. No, people lost faith in media because people lost faith in media. They lost faith in corporate media because you lied to them, they caught you, and it only takes so many times. That's what it was. It wasn't smear jobs. It was folks, it was me supporting Bernie Sanders in 2016 and watching the Washington Post put out, what was it? Was it 15 hit pieces in 4 days? 15 hit pieces on one candidate in like a 4-day stretch. It was something crazy like that. Don't quote me exactly, but it was like back to 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 back smears against him. When he took the lead from Hillary, they smeared him for almost constantly for a week. I watched that happen. That's not Trump telling me how bad corporate media is. That is corporate media showing me how bad corporate media is. So the numbers are down. And that's because America woke up. And it's only going to get worse because you don't control. You're not the only entity which people can get information from now. It's the information age, baby. So As Malcolm X would say, the roosters have come home to roost. And they're going to keep on roosting. All right, folks, let me know what you think about that in the comments section. Give me a like if that segment made sense to you. We're trying to bust up this algorithm. Yeah, I think part of the problem I have is that the algorithm don't want to cooperate. So I need your help. Hit the like button. If you're on Facebook, if you're on X, share this, please, out with your audience. Let them know that you watched the Tim Black Show. Let's keep going. I think we got one more CNN clip.
The freak show, they're not freaks. They're not freaks. They're filling a need in this country, in my opinion.
All right,
Next on deck with Tim Black.
It's about making sure that there is white supremacy in this country. And if we're honest, we will say that. It is about making sure we will make sure that people who DEI is really all these code words. You used to use woke. I asked you to define what woke meant. You couldn't really define it for me. Tell me what it means again.
Woke ideology is taking extreme views of American culture and trying to tear down America from the inside out and go outside of our cultural norms and invade every corporation, university, and other institutions.
What is DEI?
That's incorrect.
Tell me that's incorrect. But what is DEI? Tell me again.
Diversity, equity, and inclusion, and trying to guarantee outcomes instead of guarantee opportunity.
Cabinet looks like DEI.
Yeah, Scott Jennings' definition of woke, it may be in how he internalized what woke people do, but that ain't what the definition of woke is. Woke is just very simple. Like when we used it back in 2015, 2015, yeah, about that time, it just meant you were aware of what was going on. You were paying attention. That's it. Very simple. That's before it was taken by progressives. And that's before it was taken by liberals. I'm sorry, before the liberals took it, before it went mainstream. And that was like 5 years before conservatives took it. And then made it seem like it was, save black people or something. I don't know what it is. And I realize now that that's an oversimplification of what it means to them. It just meant being like a Cape Crusader for various causes. Like you're woke. Everything's offending you, and you must fight everything for everyone. It's something crazy. But yeah, Scott's definition of what woke is, like I said, hey man, you can't make up your own definitions for words. But what it originally was, when we originally used it, when we were using it back in 2014, 2015, it had nothing to do with politics really. Just meant you was up on game. That's all it meant. It was like being aware. That's all. That's it. Let's keep going.
I was speaking. If I could just finish.
I do want us to not get off the rails because
she just said we're all white supremacists. We gotta address this, don't we?
A whole swath of voters and saying they voted because they're racist or misogynist, not
because
their pocketbook.
Those weren't my words, yours. But go ahead.
Okay, but
you said it was about white supremacy.
I said it was about white
Democrats will keep losing if they do
that. All the voters were white supremacists, but it's not about eggs. She said it was about pocketbook issues. It's not about pocketbook issues.
You don't think people were at all motivated by the state of the economy?
Of course they were. Absolutely. But yes, and you're smart enough to know yes, and yes, they were upset about pocketbook issues, and they're also upset about what people are.
I can't stand Kurt Champion's point here. It's like it gets so tiresome, man. And I used to be this way, and I try not to be this way anymore. You know what I'm saying? Because America has a legacy of racism and sexism and all these other isms, right? You're gonna bring it up on every topic. When it's not every topic. That's not why the Democrats lost. They didn't lose because of white supremacy or lose because of sexism. They lost because they had a bad candidate. Now, were there 3% of, I don't know, people that probably never vote Democrat anyway who wouldn't vote for Kamala because she was a woman? Probably so. I don't know how many Democrats felt that way. Remember, man, we got a lot of people in the country. We got a lot of people that don't even vote. Only like 60% of Americans vote. That's it. Millions upon millions of people don't vote. And then we got the country's basically split on Democrats and Republicans, and we got independents. So, like, what are we really talking about? It was not like it was 100 to 2. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like it was 100 to 2. Kamala got millions of votes, and I thought she was a horrible candidate. And still, somehow she got millions of votes. I think some people voted for her. The only reason why they voted for her because she was a woman. I think some people only voted for her because she was brown skinned. That's what I think. I think there were people that voted for her only because she went to Howard. There were some people probably voted for her only because she was from the West Coast. Then we could keep going. Keep going and keep going and keep going and keep going. But only when you have a candidate that is amazing. You know, like amazing. Like Hank Aaron was amazing he was amazing baseball player. If you didn't want Hank Aaron on your team, it's because you were racist and your organization was racist. We had amazing players in the Negro Leagues. Right? Okay? We had 2 different leagues because of race. Because they were amazing. But you can't make the same argument with Kamala. How dare you do that? She was not amazing. She wasn't. She wasn't. She still isn't amazing. She's not interesting. She's uninteresting. She didn't have policies. And Biden stunk it up too. So she was a part of a losing team. The favorabilities were low coming off the gate. She wasted $2 billion. Now, look, I don't care what color you are. If you can't compensate for it with $2 billion, I don't know what to tell you, dog. Maybe you're not supposed to win, and we're still talking about this. We're still talking about it. Man, update your software, Kerry. You know, come on now. CNN. I know CNN loves getting these ratings. Abby loves the ratings that she gets on these contentious panels. But is there going to be some new information coming out of these panels anytime soon? Because every time I cut it on, they yelling back and forth. You can't even hear what they're talking about. Damn. What is it? All right.
They do have an opportunity, but we're treated to sort of similar comments to what Kerry made tonight about race, white supremacy, all of Trump's ideology and people and voters and everything. It's all about white supremacy. This was rejected in the election. Democrats ran this was the animating thing of the Harris campaign, and it was rejected.
Okay.
Was it?
And I am constantly.
That was not the animating thing. And Kamala Harris wasn't running around talking about race. She wasn't. She was running around talking about her being raised as a. What was she talking about? What was she talking about? Oh, about her being raised, her mother being able to buy a house. The next door neighbor had a business, a daycare or something, and I don't know. What was she talking about? Wasn't that the knock? She wasn't really talking about anything. You know, she had a bunch of twerking done on stage, people twerking, and bad interviews with CBS when she gave them, her lack of getting out in front of, to the people. And then she brought out the creepy grandpa that touches the kids inappropriately, who lives under the stairs, walls, It was a bad look, man. I mean, look, real quick, what did Kamala run on? I don't know. Pronouns. I don't know. D.L. Hughley's. D.L. Hughley's jokes. No wonder she lost. There was nothing there. All right.
Shocked at what you're not aware of, which is Donald Trump's performance.
I'm constantly shocked with what you're not aware of.
Well, I don't know. I tend to be more right about it than you are. But the reality is he did better. He did better among minority voters than any Republican in a half a century.
Yeah,
and he seemed to be totally unaware of it.
But it's also true.
But if you're going to come out and call half the country a white supremacist, I think you've got to explain it.
I didn't say the country. I said this was about white supremacy because what he ran on was making America great again, which is another code.
Oh, no. I hate this. This is old. It is an old argument. This just came out, guys. I'm telling you, this video just came out. I grabbed it. I know it sounds like it's from January, January 20th or something. No, This just came out this week. They're still talking about the election. And Kerry's still in denial. She's still in denial. And she's bringing up things. She's bringing up his slogan that he ran on since 2016. She's bringing up Ronald Reagan's slogan, who was also Bill Clinton and Al Gore's slogan for a time period. Make America Great Again is something as a phrase that had been around. But you know, I fought a Kerry champion, but I fought Democrats in general because a lot of them kept the lie going. And that's one of the most infuriating things about being in this business, guys. I was telling my son this. Yes, last night, it was his birthday yesterday. Happy birthday, TJ. Once again. And, you know, when I wanted to get into the news business, back when I was a kid, I've been into journalism forever. I started in journalism when I was like 20. Had to leave because there was no money in it. I had a family. But I had no idea how dirty the business is. The thing is, the Democrats are perpetuating a lie all this time about this phrase, make America great again. They know. Stuff like this irks me. Journalists know that phrase had been around for 30 years before Trump dusted it off and used it. They all know it. And they all bring it up as if they've never heard it before. And Trump invented it with David Duke or something when Clinton ran on it. And Gore ran on it. And Reagan ran on it. They all know. And they get in front of cameras, they get in front of the American people and try to scare you and make you hate each other over something they know is a lie. And it's like, and no one will say, hey, that's bullshit. Kerry, Abby will sit there and she'll never say, hey, Kerry, it's bullshit. We all know both Democrats and Republicans have ran on that phrase, and none of them were called racist for doing it. It's just what we use against Trump because we didn't have anything else to use on it. But she can't say that because then she won't have a show. Because you have to continue to lie in order to be in this business and get the money. And when you tell the truth and when you support and stand up and truly advocate for Black America, where you are, let's just say things are bad. But see how infuriating it is? Imagine if you knew that about your field. Imagine if you knew that they knew that what they were putting in the food was hurting people, and they knew it, and they kept doing it. They just kept doing it anyway. You're like, I can't believe this. No one's saying don't put the thing in the thing. That's how I feel about a lot of our journalism.
Word. You like to say woke.
But you're saying the election was about.
But I'm saying it was a. I'm saying what Trump was about was making sure he is making sure that he stays back.
It's not even.
Next on deck.
All right. Yeah, look, guys. Let me know what you think about this segment. That's crazy, Johnson. I'm gonna calm down, cool out. Well, not too cool. We got more content coming, man. I got a lot of clips loaded up, man. We're gonna have a good time, Johnson. Y'all ready for it, man? What's up with my people, man? Who's here? Right now would be a good time to join the Tim Black Wolfpack, become a member of the Tim Black Show. Come on, Johnson, let's do it. What we got? Become a member of the Tim Black Show. Join here, Johnson. Become a member today. I got like 4 or 5 clips here, and I got another. Man, we about to rock and roll. Let's do it fast. Let's go lightning round. How about that, guys? All right, let's go. What's next on the agenda, Tim Black? It's crazy. I'm talking to myself. You know, I do my own editing, right? So,
Tim Black.
Because when I look at something like this, these proposals, I want to know why, and I want to know who's making them. And so when I looked into that, they're saying that the U.S. birth rate is declining. However, in 2024, there was a 1% increase in U.S. births. But that increase was with Hispanic mothers and Asian mothers. So
why should you say it like that? Okay, this segment is about Trump floating an idea of giving an award, or I don't know, is it a tax credit if you have kids or something? Something that J.D. Vance was talking about back when he was on the campaign trail with Trump or something. It was something J.D. Vance has espoused. It's like, yo, we need to give incentives, because they give a lot of incentives. Democrats give a lot of incentives for women to get rid of their children. So many incentives on keeping their children. And Republicans give a lot of incentives to keep children, but not feeding them. So we got a lot of hypocrisy on both sides of the coin. And that's something, that's kind of dope, right? How many shows can you go to tonight that are political and they won't tell you that? So on the Democrat side, you got Democrats who want to help you get rid of your child more than they want to help you keep your child. And we got Republicans that want you to keep your child, but don't want to help you feed or clothe or house your child. So we got a big mess here. And we got a bunch of media that won't tell the truth on either side or on their side. You know what I'm saying? And that's why you go to independent. Not because we freaks, old white guy from Abby Phillips show, but because we tell truth sometimes when we're not giving our own bad opinions. So her point is going to be, white people are dying because they're not having kids. And that's why Trump wants to do this, so that white people can have kids.
So they don't seem to be concerned about that increase. They seem to be more concerned about a decrease in other populations.
Say it.
No, I think I said enough.
It's not based on that.
And so, well, it's just based on a study. And so the other thing
but
I will.
Have they said that anywhere? I mean, I feel like
yeah,
it to be fair.
It's just as
fair to who?
It's just a.
Have they said that this is to target only white families?
Oh, I didn't say that.
You have to read between the lines.
I just gave the stats.
Yeah, but it's
about economics. They're wanting people to pay in.
I'm just giving
Tim Black.
Yo, man, how could you say this? Like, guys, let's be honest here for a second. Yeah, I probably believe there's some concern that white people aren't reproducing, to keep up with the minorities. But that's a wash. Like, I heard that by, 2040? Something like that. It's going to be a predominantly minority country anyway. But here's the deal. What Sonny Hostin just said is total rubbish. Trying to use other words here. Let's go with rubbish. So if people had a problem with Hispanics having kids, obviously they don't have a problem with it because they just brought in about 20 million Hispanics. So how can you even make this argument? I mean, your party just brought in 20 million of your cousins, Sonny Hostin. But how's the husband, by the way? I've been wondering, how's his lawsuit going? The largest racketeering lawsuit in the history of New York City, which takes some doing. How's that going? Is he out of that yet? Or what's up? That's never seen to be brought up. But anyway, the point is this. Sonny's making a point. She's saying that white people, that Trump is afraid that he wants white people to make babies because it's not enough white babies being born. And the only people making babies are Asians and Latinos. I say black people are making babies, but they're probably not keeping them because we have a healthcare clinic on every corner in the hood. Maybe that has something to do with it. Planned Parenthood. But I also want to point out that they really had a problem with Asians or Latinos having babies. The first thing they do was stop the 20 million that came through. Think about it, maybe they do have a problem. Maybe Republicans got a problem with it, but Democrats damn sure don't have a problem with it, which is probably why you're such a Democrat, Sonny, because I think you want to see the country go sunny. Yeah, I think Sonny Hostin wants to see America become more sunny or sunnier. You know what I'm saying? So, it really doesn't matter. We'll all be gone by the time that happens anyway. Well, I probably will be. But I can tell you this. The immigration issue is an issue. I'm going to keep reporting on it. You cannot say that America is opposed to other populations growing when they just let one population grow immensely. without even dropping babies. So this argument's kind of whack because, I mean, this just happened. Let's keep going.
BS detector.
Tim Black's BS detector.
Tim Black's BS detector.
Next
sense. On deck with Tim Black.
When I see this kind of insight and passion being directed at the current administration, and the lack of this kind of insight and passion being directed at the previous administration, where, again, I'm not talking about you, I'm talking about left-leaning news media organizations were kind of like, la, 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 everything's fine. Look, the economy's great, la, 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 immigration's not that much of a problem. And really being Cleopatra, queen of denial. Thank you. Boom.
Next.
Yeah, I love it when it's a short clip, but that's a guy from The Office, right? I forget his name, but he was a funny character on The Office with Carvel. I forget his name. You know those guys, right? Funny show. Here's the thing, Johnson. He's got a point. I love it when other people say it. I say it, but I don't count. I'm talking about other people. How now that corporate media is jumping out the gym because Trump's in office, that same media was here for 4 years when the economy was horrible, and they were very quiet. But that's only now. Now's when they go, oh my God, look at the economy. Oh my God, no. But it's better than it was when it was under Biden. But now it's bad. No, it was worse under Biden. But people won't say it. So look, we have a problem. The problem is that we have a bunch of hacks. We have a bunch of hacks. And you know what? No one's going to save it except us. We're the only people that can tell the truth. The rest are too paid off. They're bought and paid for, and the corporate donors have the receipts. Okay? So they're not going to say anything. They're not going to rock the boat. They're not going to educate anybody. And an uninformed populace is their best friend. Yeah, so there's that. Rainn Wilson, that's his name. Rainn Wilson. Funny character, man.
On deck with Tim Black.
And I think it's one of the main reasons that we lost the 2024 election was that we let hundreds of thousands, millions of people stream across the border. So what is the Democratic plan to show people that we're serious about this problem?
Well, we definitely have to be clear that we believe that we should have a secure border. That's first and foremost. And I think we've repeatedly endeavored to make that clear throughout this Congress. We were slow to act as an administration and as a party on the southern border crisis. And it hurt us not simply with traditional Republican voters or swing voters, but in some segments of our own base communities and in communities of color, including right here in New York.
Tim Black's BS detector.
Tim Black's BS detector.
Wow. Wow. You're slow, huh? You were kind of slow to react to the border thing. Nah, man. No, you don't get to do that again. If I let something go for 6 months, 6 weeks. 6 weeks. You let something go for 6 weeks, that's slow. You let something go for 4 years, that's not slow. That's totally ignoring. Like, that is intentional. In fact, you were doing what you wanted to do. That's not even, like, that's in a whole nother realm. The Democrats weren't slow to react to the immigration issue, to react to the border. They were carrying out an agenda. Okay, so I want to be clear here, guys. Let's be very, look. The Democrats had an agenda. The agenda was to bring in new ninjas. Okay? You understand what I'm saying? They want to bring in new ninjas and new poor whites. Do you understand what I'm saying? This is what they're doing. Black people, you need to understand that too. They want to bring in poor whites. They want to bring in a new poor class that are going to move above us. okay? They're going to move above blacks. That's the problem. That's another thing, okay? But they're bringing in a new class of people intentionally. This was the goal. It's not a bug of Biden's presidency. It is a feature. It's intentional. It's like Seth Curry taking 1,000 shots a day. Biden was taking 1,000 shots a day for an outcome. The border being open was intentional to achieve a certain result. Let's not act delusional. Let's stop letting Democrats off the hook. And I got a lot of sellout Democrats, a whole lot of black sellout, horrible Democrats who want to deny reality. And maybe some of them are good people, but they are full of it. They are full of it. They are liars. And their party is full of liars. White Americans woke up. They woke up with the Tea Party. Black America is late. White Americans woke up with the Tea Party. Black Americans would have woke up fully. Don't get it twisted. Black Agenda Report, Ford. Some people, Glenn Ford, he was awoke. He was awake. Okay? But I'm saying more black people would have woke up if it wasn't for the misleadership of black sellout Democrats who keep up a lie, who lie and deny, who are paid to lie to us. Hakeem Jeffries is being bogus here. He's trying to make it seem like he's being honest. A real moment. Right? Real moment for Jeffries. When it's really bull. Because, dog, this was unintentional. This is what they did. This is what they wanted to do. This was their strategy. It is still their strategy. So you do it. You open up your border. You let everybody in, 10 to 20 million people. And then you're going to try to get them all to vote Democrat. It's going to knock out the black vote. It's going to neutralize dissent of black voters, but also white voters. A lot of them, a lot of independents, right? Because these people are going to be beholden to the Democratic Party. It's a diabolical scheme is what it is, Johnson. So let's be very honest about what this is. Let's not be fooled again. It'll just be horrible, folks. It would be horrible. It'll be the akin of being like in a movie. You ever seen one of those movies and the guy's about to shoot the guy and the guy's like, man, tell me how'd you do it? You know, the guy's like, oh, look, man, I've been on the take all this time, bro. And, you know, and this is the way it is. You know, let's at least go to our death knowing who cheated us and knowing that they were a skunk and that they were a snake and that they were working both sides. Let's not be dumb and think, oh, everything was on the up and up and not know what the play was. The least you could do is be aware of who sold you out. That's all I'm saying. Like, I can't go back in time and smarten people up. You wanted to follow them. You followed them right off the bridge. You listen. You're still listening to Jasmine Crockett. You're still listening to liars like Clyburn, Tiffany Cross, Andrew Gillum. How could Andrew Gillum ever tell you anything of consequence that you would pay attention to? How could that ever happen? He was Shannon Sharpe before Shannon Sharpe was Shannon Sharpe. How could you ever listen to these people? But we do it. We do it. We do it. So no, I don't give Hakeem Jeffries any cool points for going here, this Democratic thing, and saying what doesn't matter anyway. And know this, they stand to win from this. They're going to give voting rights to these people that they can keep in the country. This is why they're making a big deal and trying to shut down Trump's immigration deal of deporting people. because their elections are going to depend on those people not only staying in the country, but being able to vote. Yes, it's that bad. Yes. All right, let's keep going, guys. Fun times. I don't know why I gave Andrew Gillum the business. I just feel like I had to throw a guy in there, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm going at Tiffany and I went at Abby and I went at, but there's a couple guys. It's like basically though, guys, for real talk, black men aren't that consequential in the Democratic Party. You know what I'm saying? Like, I could try to make them consequential, but they're just not consequential. Angela Rye and Tiffany Cross and Jasmine Crockett and Abby, they all have way more pull and flex than black guys I can name. Ellie Mistel is just, come on. You know what I'm saying? So it's not that they are women, they're black women, it's that they are influential. You know what I'm saying? When I call out Tiffany, I just want to be transparent. When I say Tiffany Cross, when I say Abby, when I say Jasmine Crockett, their names ring out because they are actually more present, more relevant. Who am I going to bring up? Mark Lamont Hill's on the Joe Budden podcast. He's that. Who am I going to bring up? Who? I mean, see, get what I'm saying? Like, it's just true, man. Democrats have always elevated women above men. Black women above black men. It's always been that way. Black men are so marginalized. So I don't want to make it about going after black women, but you go after the person with the ball. You know, if this is a sports game, like this is sports, you go after the quarterback. You don't go after somebody sitting on the bench. And most black men in the Democratic Party are just sitting on the bench. I mean, look at Cory Booker and look at Kamala Harris. Case closed, face closed. Yeah. Not saying she's better, but I'm saying Booker talked for 25 hours about nothing. And in 2 weeks, no one will be talking about him. They already stopped talking about him.
Tim Black's BS detector.
Yeah, I wanted to cover this because Byron Donalds had a bad day. Woo, Byron Donalds had a bad day, Johnson. And not only did he have a bad day, he kind of told a whopper. So, yeah. Here goes Byron Donalds at the town hall in Florida. You know he's running for the governor, right? And so look, real talk, I laughed at people who was shitting on Byron Donalds because they were like, Byron Donalds, he didn't get a job in the Trump administration. Well, Trump endorsed him for governor, goofy. And now no one wants to talk. Yeah, like there was like all of these people that were roasted Byron Donalds, right? And yeah, I didn't like his comment about Jim Crow. Yeah, he made a comment about Jim Crow like black families were together. Meanwhile, he's not even married to a black woman. But point of the matter was he made a comment about Jim Crow and how black families were together. And see, a lot of conservatives make the argument. They make that argument because they're trying to say, hey, man, it wasn't so bad when we had Jim Crow. So what? You didn't have no rights. So what? You had your family. You had to walk in the street if I was on the sidewalk, Blackie, but at least you had your family. And I can, and no white man would ever go to jail for what he did to a black woman or a black man. But hey, at least y'all were together. So like a lot of conservatives use those talking points, and that's really where the people weren't really explaining why what Byron Donalds said was so problematic. It was because a lot of conservatives use those talking points about Jim Crow not really being a bad time in order to take the stink off of a period of time when black people didn't have rights in this country. Okay? And to make it seem like it was better off being segregated because, you were able to stay with your nanny. Okay, so here we go. But then I also had a good time because a lot of people were roasting Byron Donalds when he didn't get picked to be HUD secretary or some other bad job that Trump could have gave him. They never considered, they didn't even think, oh, he's in Florida and DeSantis is termed out. Yeah. And Trump just endorsed him. And the only other person he's running against is DeSantis' wife, who has no political experience at all and is not endorsed by Trump. And it's perfect because DeSantis was going against Trump and talking a lot of smack. So Trump couldn't wait to endorse his guy. So it looks like he's a shoo-in for the governorship in Florida. And now all the people that were roasting Byron Donalds are silent. It's funny how that happens. Because they were wrong. They were looking at where the ball was. They weren't looking at where the ball was going. So Byron Donalds, he's in Florida, he's campaigning. He had a town hall and it didn't go so well. So now we get to check his chin.
Don't believe. Are you ready? You ready for the other half of it? The previous president, President Biden. So you don't want to hear, you do not want to hear the full story. You don't want to hear the full story. Allow me to educate and bring you the full story. And when you're ready, I'm going to tell you, because I don't want you to yell and not hear the full story. Because you're not listening. You're not. Here we go. I'm going to tell you the full story. Here's the full story. The previous administration, Joe Biden, he authorized 53 students to have access to the same database during his administration. 53. He authorized 53 students to have access to the Social Security database. And I didn't hear anybody being upset when Joe Biden authorized that. So how can you be upset when it's that versus Elon Musk? That is not true. Again, if you're going to have a conversation.
Tim Black's BS detector.
Tim Black's BS detector.
Isn't that cute? Okay, so look. So the whole point of it, and I know the audio was bad, but it's in a room and it's people are yelling at him, calling him everything except a child of God. It's not having a good day. It's like it was at a Eddie Griffin concert. That's not funny because Eddie's funny. Till they get that liquor in him. That yak gets to talking, don't they, Eddie? Love you, Eddie. Love you. Just keep it in a buck. Here's the deal, though. Here's real talk. Here's the talk. Here's the talk. Byron Donalds tried to defend Trump. And I get it. You got to defend Trump. Because they would say, well, you know, everybody hates Elon, basically, right? So they were like, you know, Trump put Elon and gave Elon access to the Social Security databases. So that's the argument. And Byron's rebuttal to that is, so did Biden. Biden gave 53 students access to the Social Security database. Now, I looked this up. I could not find any way to verify what Byron's talking about. So basically, what you talking about, Byron? Yeah, Byron's up there trying to defend Trump giving Elon access to Social Security database and using a whataboutism about Biden, but I can't verify. So I found nowhere any reliable information that points to when Biden gave some students access to Social Security Administration databases. Now, mind you, there are a lot of privacy rights and laws around Social Security database. Like, you just can't give people access to that. There are rules to this stuff. So we gotta be honest and say, hey, this is privileged information. Not just anybody can have it. And who are these people that were given access? And even when I say, hey, you know, Elon Musk has had government clearance for quite some time, which he has. I don't know about everybody that he gave access, though. So I will make the argument from a technical standpoint, having been a contractor, a federal contractor here in Washington, D.C., I can tell you, just because you got access to files don't mean you get to open files. You know, like you could drag a folder that has files, you know, there's files in it, a folder that's a digital folder on a computer does not mean you are able to go through records and read those records individually. And that will leave a footprint if you were to open up someone's records. So some of the conversation around Social Security and other government access that they've been given about Elon, it's just because they hate the guy. They have no idea who has access to this stuff before Elon. No one knows who access to what files anybody has. As a government contractor who had a top secret clearance, I was able to see, I had to see certain files, but not in the files. It's like, see it like, papers like this. It doesn't mean I get to open them and look through them. Just because I go, here goes some files, it doesn't mean I get to open them. So if they're digital files, it doesn't mean the whole world gets those people that have access from a technical point. It doesn't mean they're able to go open your files and look at your files, sir. So part of the fear tactics that they're using is they're making it seem like Elon Musk and some pimple-faced kids are going through your personal records and reading your personal data. And one of the reasons why it's such garbage is because everybody in America is on Facebook. And most of us don't care that we have Siri and we have Alexa and we have all these other, we have Google and we have YouTube and we have Instagram and we have TikTok and all these other entities are looking at your data constantly. Okay? And it's just bad that we have a country where everyone's privacy is up for grabs and being sold to the highest bidder. And now suddenly we care about privacy. But anyway, Byron's still wrong. He's still wrong because I cannot confirm. And I would really love for Byron Donalds to confirm to us, to give us some indication where he got this number, where he got proof that Joe Biden gave these people access to Social Security files. All right. Next.
Tim Black's BS detector.
About policy, then answer the question. Chanting is not going to let me answer the question. Donald Trump authorized Elon Musk to have access. I agree with that. Do you know who else agrees with it? Joe Biden. Because Joe Biden gave similar access to 53 students during his administration.
Will this administration continue to oversee the deportation of 400,000 people a year?
As long as Congress gives us the money to deport 400,000 people a year, that's what the administration is going to do. That's our obligation under the law. We will be strategic about how we do it, and the number of those folks who are either criminals or recent arrivals will continue to go up. But yes, this is our obligation under the law. And
you hear this conversation, guys, you would think this is somebody that works for Trump, right? You would think that's who this is talking. He's like, who is this lady that's working for Trump that's defending deportations? Who is this woman? I've never seen her before. She doesn't work for Trump. She works for Obama. Yeah, this is from the Obama administration defending their deportations, using the exact same talking points that Trump is using now. And Democrats gave him a Nobel Peace Prize. Well, they didn't give it to him, but he got one. Just say it.
while we have the debate about reforming the law, we must enforce it, and we will do that.
Are you saying that this administration believes that there are 400,000 serious criminals who are not in jail right now and who should be deported? 400,000 people. Where are you going to find them if you're saying that your emphasis is only on serious criminals?
As I pointed out, of the people that we remove, of the 400,000 people removed in the last year, about half of them are serious criminals under the definition in immigration law. And the vast majority of the other half are either recent arrivals, people who are in the process of crossing at the border, or people who have recently been deported, or who had previously been deported, and are re-entering. So that makes up the bulk of the 400,000 in previous years, and if the trends continue, that'll be reflected in the next 400,000 that we remove. But Congress passed a law, and Congress appropriates funds to implement that law, and the executive branch's job is to enforce it. How we do it matters a lot, but the president can't say to the Congress, I'm not going to bother to enforce this particular law because these are really compelling people. That's not how democracy works.
Yeah, it kind of speaks for itself, doesn't it? Kind of speaks for itself about the hypocrisy of a lot of people, a lot of people on the Democratic Party side, that all of a sudden I got a problem with deportation when they didn't have a problem with it before. I don't know. This seems a little hypocritical to all of a sudden now call somebody else a fascist for doing exactly what Obama did. All right. It is what it is. All right, guys, hit the like button. We got more content to go. My name is Tim Black. You know how to reach me at tim@timblacktv.com. We have this show every day except Saturday and Tuesday, right here on the Tim Black Show. Go to join timblacktv.com to become a member of the Tim Black Wolfpack. It's a dope thing to do. You support independent media, and you get first access to everything. You get my entire catalog. I got thousands of videos, Johnson. I got a lot of content. I put out a lot of content every week. So become a member. Go there to join. You can also join right here on youtube.com. If you're watching on X, if you're watching on Facebook, let's get some reposts. I'm making a comeback on Facebook, Johnson. So get some reposting done on Facebook. I'd like to see if anybody on X. Are people on X? Does that even happen? I have no idea. Is anybody on X? I don't know. Who's in the house? Okay. Yeah. Fun times, Johnson. I'm gonna keep it moving because we got more content to go, Johnson. I tell you, it's busy. When I take a day off, we just got all this extra. So let's get into the extra, Johnson. Let's see what we got. Who's this one?
Next on deck with Tim Black.
The problem is that the right wing.
Oh, sorry, wrong one. Try this one. Oh, you know what? I think I got the same. Okay, my bad. Hold on, guys. Let me load up. Let me load up. It looks like I got the wrong one, Johnson. Let's see what we got here. Let's see here. Let's see. Oh, here we go. Yeah, it's like I grabbed the same file twice. This should be different. Let's see what this is.
Next on deck with Tim Black.
Spiraling. A teenager today, an American teenager, has less testosterone than a 68-year-old man. Sperm counts are down 50%.
Wait,
girls are
an
hitting
American
puberty 6 years
teenager
early.
has less testosterone than a 60-year-old man?
That's right, because the testosterone levels have dropped 50% from historic levels.
You know, I listen to RFK say things. Yeah, I hear him say things. And I know there's people that like RFK Jr. And I've even said, hey, if he could do something that helps our healthcare system, if he can help make us eat better, why not give him a shot? You know, I don't even know who was the Health and Human Secretary before. But hey, if he wants to be that and he can help, let's see what he does. If he sucks, get rid of him. He serves at the behest of the president. You know, some people just hate the guy. Okay. But I gotta say, when I heard this, I thought, this sounds like bullshit. What is he talking about? That a 68-year-old man has more testosterone than an 18-year-old kid? No. How? How much cornflakes are they giving the kids? Kids don't even eat breakfast like they used to. What are they consuming that's making the kids' testosterone plummet? Like Mabel King slipped off the sliding board. What are you talking about? It doesn't make sense. Jesse's not acting for fact checks? Of course not. Of course not. He wouldn't ask, hey, how did you come up with that? Sounds like you just pulled that one out of your steroids. Where'd you get that from? That doesn't make sense, Johnson. One more time for the cheap seats.
Spiraling. A teenager today, an American teenager, has less testosterone than a 68-year-old man. Sperm counts are down 50%.
Wait,
girls are
an
hitting
American
puberty 6 years
teenager
early.
has less testosterone than a 60-year-old man?
That's right, because the testosterone levels have dropped 50% from historic levels. And, and that is a problem. And it's an existential problem. But that is only when we have obesity. That is off the charts. Yeah. Again, when my uncle was president, we had about 11% of kids with obesity. Today, 74% of Americans are obese or overweight. And, in Japan, it's 3%. So, and that's because they pay attention to what they're feeding kids in school.
Yeah, the Japanese are very skinny, except for the sumo wrestlers. Those people, not so skinny.
Tim Black's BS detector.
Tim Black's BS detector.
Yeah, man, look, I haven't done any research on this, so I cannot say definitively that RFK may be on a bender, but it sounds like it. I mean, does this seem like this makes sense? I would need a fact check on that, Johnson. I mean, testosterone count is down 50%. Not the part about being fat asses. I can see that. Have you seen the size of chicken wings, by the way? See, here in D.C., we got what's known as mambo wings. Wings and mambo sauce is like a staple of the DMV, right? And I've seen wings go from being regular-sized wings to looking like turkey wings. In my lifetime, wings have quadrupled in size, okay? So I get it about the obesity thing and the hormones that are obviously in the Incredible Hulk chicken. But 50% of testosterone. And then he said something about sperm count. Kind of ran past that one. I wasn't going to touch it. But maybe he has a point there about that. I don't know. I mean, when was the last time you heard anybody else shooting up the club like Nick Cannon? I mean, I'm just saying. That's a bad thing. Nick does have the money. I don't know, man. I just don't think, I don't know, man. I don't know, man. There's been a lot of critics of RFK Jr. And now, maybe not all of them were full of shit. Maybe I need to reconsider dismissing some of the claims people made about RFK. Because he didn't cite anything, man. You got to cite something. If you're going to say something like that, you got to be able to say, at least say Wall Street Journal reports. Something, Johnson. All right, so anybody gets a chance. Let's fact check RFK Jr. I'm not going to say he's a liar. I'm not going to go that far. But I'm going to say it sounds very lie-ish. It's a little lie-ish.
Detector.
Tim Black's BS detector. Next on deck with Tim Black.
I'd like to announce that I'm suing the President of the United States, Donald Trump, and Attorney General Pam Bondi, and the United States Department of Justice. Here is the opening line of our lawsuit. Minnesota brings this lawsuit to stop President Trump and his administration from bullying vulnerable children in this state. How did we get here? You might wonder. In January and February, President Trump issued a series of executive orders targeting transgender people. One in particular banned transgender girls and women from participating on sports teams with other girls and women.
Tim Black's BS detector.
Tim Black's BS.
That was Minnesota Attorney General Keith Ellison. Yeah, Keith Ellison. He's always had the Napoleon disorder. The short guy syndrome. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. My personal feelings aside about Keith. But he did lock up Derek Chauvin, which really did piss off Candace Owens and Officer Tatum. So thank God for that. But I gotta say, Johnson, if you're saying Trump is bullying girls because he won't let biological men play sports with girls, I think you got to twist it. Yeah, sounds like he's not bullying girls. He's saving girls from having to play ball against guys. Why is this controversial for me to say? That's because you were indoctrinated. They've indoctrinated you. You have been manipulated. People are so delusional on this topic. They'll say, I'm the one that's indoctrinated. That somebody who wakes up tomorrow and says, hey, I really want to be a girl, could just go be a guy and go play on a girls' team. And you don't think that's wrong. You don't have a problem with that. Now, I don't think that's bullying to pass the law that you can't do that. What about all the girls on the team, Keith? What about all the girls in Minnesota who should be able to play against girls who were born girls, who are girls, wear sports bras? Like they want to play against girls. That's part of it. You know, so like, I don't know. I just got a problem with this. The framing is horrible. Let's keep going. Maybe he has something else to say. But this right here, folks, this is my argument against the Democrats. They want you to ride with them on things you would not ride with them. And I got a problem. There were people I used to think that were great people. And maybe they are still great people in their private lives. But as it pertains to their politics, yuck. Their politics sucks, Johnson. Yeah, they defend obvious, they defend BS like this because they have to. They don't have to. There's always work at the post office.
Detector.
Tim Black's BS detector.
February 20th, I issued a formal legal opinion saying that the executive order does not override Minnesota's protections against discrimination. In fact, complying with the sports executive order from the president would violate Minnesota Human Rights Act.
So it's against the Human Rights Act to tell a guy you can't go play with the girls. Really? You have a human right that you have to be able to go play with the girls? Now, if you were trying to make the argument, Keith Ellison, and now, I'm a dummy because I'm not a lawyer. You know what I'm saying? Like, just humor me here. If you were saying, if the law was saying this, if the executive order said boys can't play with boys, that would be a violating of human rights. Like if you say the boys can't play with boys. So like if you're a trans person who wants to play basketball, if you're a trans woman, you should still be playing basketball with the guys, not with the girls. Right? Now, if you did that, maybe that would be a violation of human rights. But you say it's a violation of human rights because people want to play with, if you're a trans woman wants to play with the girls, though they were born a guy. See, we get into this. And people say, Tim, it's not that big a deal. It's a big enough deal for Keith Ellison to sue. It's a big enough deal for that. It's a big enough deal for him to hold a press conference and have white lady behind him going, have Asian dude like, yes, that's a good point there, Keith. Like there's a press conference going on right now. Well, at the time of this video, and this is a big enough point for them to do that. See, whenever someone counters someone's argument, they go like, why are you making a counter to it? It doesn't affect anyone. It's a small issue. Sit down. Sit down, shut up. That's what I want to say.
That opinion is legally binding in Minnesota unless a court of law says otherwise. On February 25th of this year, our office got this letter from the Department of Justice stating that it would sue us if we didn't comply with the executive order. We got another letter right here, April 8th, dated April 8th, and on that, in this April 8th letter and in an April 16th press conference, the Department of Justice threatened to withhold funds from Minnesota and, quote, seek judicial resolution.
Oh, that's what got you moving, didn't it, Keith? That money. Yeah, that money you weren't going to get. Yeah, that got you moving right there. That's what did it. Yeah, Trump said we're going to withhold money. It didn't get you to comply. That's why you're suing. You're suing because it took the money away. Like all things, State Farm is there.
Unquote. I'm not going to sit around waiting for the Trump administration to sue Minnesota. Today, Minnesota is suing him and his administration because we will not participate in this shameful bullying.
Tim Black's BS detector.
Tim Black's BS.
Yeah, man, this whole argument is so, like I say, man, part of the argument, a lot of the pushback that people give you when you disagree with this line of thought that this is a non-issue, they forget that they're doing this all across the country, that they're fighting Trump on this, and you don't consider that as petty. So, like, how many kids in grade school are getting gender reassigned, where this would even pertain to them? That you would have to sue the federal government to get the executive order lifted. Like how many people is that? So when it goes one way, they say Trump is being petty, it's a small issue. How many people does it affect? And I get to hear this all day, right? But then when the other side sues Trump, no one goes, hey, how many people does this affect? Why are you suing? It's not a big deal. What, you got one kid? That kid probably won't even be a basketball player. What's the problem? Why are we wasting all this time and money and resources on a non-issue? No one does it the other way. It's just petty when Trump does it, but it's not petty when Keith Ellison does it. And that's where I got a problem. And not only is that the problem, that's part of the problem. My other part of the problem is I see it the other way. But see, I'm a dad of three daughters and 2 sons. And I think my sons should play sports with other boys. And I think my daughters should play sports with girls. And if you don't have either, we got a lot of people that don't have either, who are the loudest people in the room about this issue. Loudest ones don't even have kids. So, but anyway, yeah, I agree. I agree with Trump on this. And why is Keith Ellison being so petty? All right, next topic. Hit like if that makes sense to you.
Detector.
Tim Black's BS detector. Next on deck with Tim Black.
If there are any black organizations who are trying to have side meetings with Target, and they are not a part of this boycott, they have not used any of their resources or notified people, if they are not communicating with the leaders of this boycott, we gonna call them out publicly. Because what cannot happen is for folk who ain't invested anything in this effort to then go try to break off a few crumbs by negotiating behind the backs of the people who are actually doing the work.
Amen, bro. Let the church say amen. That is important, that we don't allow ourselves to be picked off. This boycott is absolutely working, which is why Target is going to this leader, this community. You know, they even met with some of our Hispanic sisters and brothers trying to pick off, pit black and brown people against each other.
Tim Black's BS detector.
Tim Black's BS detector.
Yeah, that's sad, Johnson. This is a sad segment, Johnson. Yeah, but I will speak to it, though. No, there is no black-brown coalition. No, there isn't. There isn't a black-brown coalition. And it's really sad, man. This whole thing about DEI, they're still on that. Look, guys, I did a whole segment on this topic. I pulled up the issue. I'd like to see the numbers. I'd like to know quantitatively how many businesses, how many black people. First of all, I'd like to know how many black employees have lost their jobs at Target because of the loss of revenue that Target sustained during this boycott over DEI. Not over black people being hired, but over DEI. No one can give me numbers. No one can tell me how many black employees lost their jobs. Then no one can tell me how many black businesses were hurt by this hissy fit over DEI not being implemented in stores. They can't tell me that either. They can't tell me how many black businesses were impacted negatively or positively. I can't imagine how they could positively be impacted, but how many were negatively impacted? No one can give me those numbers. Last but not least, nobody can tell me how many black Americans or how many black businesses, because Target's been one of the best partners for black American business, black small businesses in the country. I repeat, Target has been one of the best partners to black businesses when it comes to retailers in the country. No one's telling me how much did we benefit from DEI? How much were those businesses there because of DEI? Were they there because they were there? Were they there because of relationships that black Americans had with Target, or were they there because of the diversity, equity, inclusion initiatives? Get what I'm saying? No one's giving me numbers on this. If you give me numbers on this, I'll take a look at it. I'll consider. But until you give me numbers on it, it sounds like a bunch of people circle jerking and virtue signaling. And now they're arguing over who gets credit for this thing they say is working real well. Then no one can give me numbers on it. Also, there are a lot of people that are saying, a lot of people are talking like Senator Nina Turner. They're talking as if this is a win. Here's what I know, because I've been black a long time. Nina, Roland, we all been black for a long time. When there's going to be payback for this, and I got to imagine at some point there will be payback for this. Who's going to have the brunt? Who's going to bear the brunt of the payback for this whole thing? Because we're not going to benefit the most from it. We already know that because we don't benefit the most from affirmative action. We didn't benefit the most from DEI. And we ain't going to benefit the most from whatever negotiations come forth from this boycott. And if so, what are the demands? What are you demanding? Because it sounds to me like you are demanding something specific. I hope. Once again, I haven't heard any specific demands. Bring back DEI. To what? For what? To accomplish what? And at what cost? See, Roland and Nina were two people that were running, that were saying very often that DEI meant black. Though I produced documentation, a number of us have produced documentation on this. I produced documentation that showed we're not really impacted by DEI like that. Black people are not benefiting from DEI like that. Neither in the management and the directing of DEI policies. We're not getting the jobs running the DEI programs. In fact, there's a disparity of who even gets the jobs to implement DEI. There is discrimination in the DEI implementation itself that no one wants to talk about. I'm not let alone talk about how it's implemented in these retailers and businesses and restaurants and these other corporations. I'm talking about just the structure of the DEI certifications and who gets hired as directors to conduct DEI trainings and oversee the practices. We're not even getting picked to do that. So yeah, I got a lot of questions and I can't get any answers out of anyone. But still, it's a very popular issue because everyone loves the talking point. That black people are being discriminated against. And once again, guys, for the record, last thing before we go back to the tape, last thing. If you can show me, look, I would support this, though I'm not a fan of Roland. Not at all. Not a fan of Al Sharpton. Not a fan of Jamal Bryant. But I am a big fan of Black America. If this was a boycott for Black America, I'd be down. But it ain't a boycott for Black America. It's a boycott for Eskimos, little people, veterans, differently abled, LGBTQ, Latinos, Asians, people left-handed who pitch right-handed, everything except cisgender, which are straight white men. Because that's what DEI is. Everybody. And if everybody wins, nobody wins. And we know it's worse than that, because when it comes down to it, folks, and I got to tell you, black men, I got to tell you this, because Roland Knight, he's selling black men out. Black men at the bottom of the DEI checklist. Well below black women and well below white women. Okay? Okay.
Tim Black's BS detector.
No, we can't have that. We have got to stand solid and stand strong. And the point that you've been making, Rowan, thank you for that. You can't inch around the people who actually had the courage to get this thing started. Now, of course, this is bigger than any leader, any national leader, any grassroots leader, because we needed the people to pull this off. And so the people have shown, both the black community and others who are in allyship with us, they have shown that, hey, we are rocking with you. Even in the LGBTQ plus community in Minneapolis, Minnesota, Minneapolis in particular, they turned down Roe. When Target did this, that Pride group turned down the $50,000 or $60,000 that they were getting from Target regularly and said, you know what? And they can at least afford it. But they said, you know what? You want to roll with bigotry? We don't want your money. So from a grassroots group like that to others, to your point, come on, black folks, you can't have these side meetings with these people and take crumbs when we have a larger vision here.
What's the vision? So let me get this right. To her point, I didn't know this. Brand new. This is good stuff. So you mean to tell me that Latino groups are getting money from Target? And they stopped taking the money because they want to stand in solidarity with black Americans who weren't getting any money. And if black Americans were getting money, tell me what money we were getting. Because I haven't heard where black Americans were getting money. But you just said Latino organizations or LGBTQ were getting money. Was that LGBTQ or was it Latin? I really don't know. I kind of lost the thread there. Nina Turner just said that there were other groups that were getting money from Target regularly. What groups are that? So the deal that's going to be cut from the boycotts, who's going to get money from that? Is National Action Network one of the organizations that's going to get money? Is this a shakedown that's going to some non-government organization, NGOs, that are run by people like Al Sharpton and, I don't know, maybe a Stacey Abrams organization here or there, or maybe a BLM light group that's run by, what is it, Mondale Robinson, for instance? Like, what's going on here? What's happening? Like, let us in on the scam. I mean, the plan, man. See what I'm saying? Folks, she just said there were groups that were getting money from Target. The Tim Black Show group wasn't getting any money from it. The TTL Media group wasn't getting any money from it. Was Al Sharpton's group getting some money from it? Was what's his name, Jamal Bryant, is he a part of an organization that was getting money from it? Was the Oprah Winfrey group getting money from it? I don't know. Was the Roland Martin group getting money from it? See, these are the things I'm looking at. This is what I'm looking at because somebody, I'll just say this, guys. If you don't know who's getting paid, just because you don't know who's getting paid doesn't mean no one's getting paid. Just because you're not getting paid and you don't know who's getting paid, you best believe somebody getting paid. It just ain't your ass. You know what I'm saying? All right. Hey, man. Hey, let me know what y'all think. I just know nothing from nothing leaves nothing. Okay? And there's something going on. And I smell something rotten in Denmark. Let's keep going, fam.
Tim Black's BS detector.
Tim Black's BS detector.
Tim Black's BS detector. Next on deck with Tim Black.
tell you something. We really don't know how much damage they're causing. Like, when I tell you that the level of incompetence is almost like incomprehensible, it is so bad.
Incomprehensible? It's like sometimes I think Jasmine Crockett wants to be the valley girl that she really is. And the other times she want to be hood to the moon. I don't know which Jasmine Crockett showing up, man. Let's hear her out. Here she is on the Jimmy Kimmel Show. She's about to go in on Elon Musk.
And when you bring up the idiot known as Elon Musk,
from Minnesota, and quote,
it is so bad. And when you bring up the idiot known as Elon Musk,
that's how bad Elon Musk is. You could just say he's an idiot. And it gets you like a 4-second applause line just for name calling. That's strong, Johnson. Let's keep going.
he is not only like very sinister and has no idea what he's doing, and people are like, oh no, he absolutely knows because he's the richest man in the world. Like, yes, he knows how to hire smart people, but don't conflate that and believe that he is the genius, because he ain't. And so he has inflicted
Tim Black's BS detector.
Tim Black's BS detector.
Hey, look, man, I'm not even going to defend Elon Musk here. Yeah, his job is to hire smart people. It takes a smart person to hire smart people, right? You can hire dummies. They don't want to give a guy credit for being the richest man in the world. Jesus, they really know how to go pick who to pick to go after the cause stupid. She said he ain't that smart. And, you know, look, when you're calling someone dumb, you probably should not use the word ain't or ain't. But here's the thing, guys. I'm not going to defend him on that. So what? Who cares? If you're rich like Elon, you can buy rich people, or smart people, buy smart people. They say things about Steve Jobs. It's like she's been watching the Bill Burr stand-up, one of his bits, where he said Steve Jobs just hired guys to make the iPhone and got all the credit. You know, that's what companies do. But it takes a smart person to do that, to get out their own way and get the best people and put the best people in place and pick the businesses and make those decisions to get you there. But here's the thing, though. If you're Jasmine Crockett, you can't even make this argument because you just spent 4 years supporting Joe Biden as one of his most ardent, vehement, strong, reliable, trusted supporters. Meanwhile, he didn't know what was going on. I mean, Biden's brain wasn't even connected. He had a short in his brain wiring. And you were up here praising him like he was a genius. Folks, do I have to run the tape about how much praise she was giving to Joe Biden? So let me get this right. So other people can't have their rich dummies, but you get to have your corrupt dummy who wasn't even running his own office. Like, no one's running, obviously no one's running Tesla but Elon. Biden wasn't even running the presidency. You know that. So that's why I call BS, because it's so hypocritical, folks. This is hypocritical. Let's keep going though. This is funny.
Tim Black's BS detector.
so much harm and done so much that even Trump don't want to talk about it. When the last time you heard about Elon?
Not much. You don't see him that much.
No, we ain't been hearing about him.
You think Trump is distancing himself from Elon Musk?
Because as soon as people started to look at his ratings, right, like he continues to have these failing ratings. So now they're like, oh, get rid of Elon. But let me tell you, the stench ain't getting off of you, Trump, honey. Like, you are a problem. He is a problem.
Tim Black's BS detector.
Tim Black's BS.
Yeah, man. It's just pathetic, man. You know, part of my job, I'm a Democratic Party hater. So you already know what I'm going to say before I say it. You know, Trump ain't running for re-election. He already won. I don't get it. It's like, I don't know, man. Maybe I'm just in the wrong business. Maybe I need to be a politician and I could get points for not scoring. Because The Democrats lost, and they're still scoring points against the guys that won the championship. You got to run again in 2028, and only then can you talk about who sucks. Because that's already been determined based on your previous performance. See, how it works is what you did between 20 and 24 determines if you get to win in 2024. You get 4 years to govern because you won. You don't then go to say in 2025, you in trouble. You suck. Your numbers are down. It doesn't matter because the numbers were so good they beat you. They got the ring. They got the trophy at the house. And you get to try again in 2028. And what I'm saying crazy? Is it? I'm a Democratic Party hater, but I thought I'd try to be reasonable. Jasmine Crockett is a broken sprocket.
BS detector.
Tim Black's BS detector.
You've not met Donald Trump, right?
No.
I feel like he likes you.
No.
I do. Because I think, I don't think he would ever admit it, but I think when somebody's aggressive and funny, they hit his radar, and he did speak about you once.
How about this new one they have, their new star, Crockett? How about her? Is that real? Are they serious about that? That's their new star? If that's their new star, they're in serious trouble. I mean, this is Crockett. Oh man. But we've done a job, but they've totally lost their confidence. And it's a hard thing when you lose your confidence. But they've taken a lot of beatings, and now they're going to rely on Crockett to bring them back.
Why does he yell your name? Crockett over and over. And then they're going to bring Crockett.
I actually had not watched the clip. That's my very first time. My team was aware.
Tim Black's BS detector.
Tim Black's BS detector.
Tim Black's BS detector.
You know, I hate that, man. I hate when people lie like that. Jasmine Crockett wants you to believe that the President of the United States talked about her in a speech, and she didn't even watch it. Because he's so irrelevant, he don't matter. They say if you lie about little things, you lie about big things, Jasmine Crockett. And I don't know what kind of ghetto-ass people you got working for you. But whoever you talked to before you came up with that talking point, that you will pretend not to know that Trump mentioned you, you need to go back to the drawing board with them. Both of y'all suck. Yeah, folks, that just proves my point about her honesty. It proves my point about integrity, and it's just BS. Democrats lie all the time. I'm not saying Republicans don't lie, but I'm saying that's a lie. I'm saying that is a lie. That right there is a lie. Nina Turner may not find out that I disagree with her about DEI, but I think she already knows that because we follow each other on Twitter. But she may or may not find out about that because I'm not Trump. But Jasmine Crockett, damn sure knows that Donald Trump brought her up on the stage. Come on, man. Come on. And that's just how pathetic it is. And we have people that are delusional enough that they would not believe it. They will believe whatever she says because she black. And she said y'all that time. That time she said y'all. I wish more black sisters with law degrees talk like Glorilla. That's more down to earth. She's supposed to be making policies that make our lives better. Not going on Jimmy Kimmel and roasting the richest man in the country, calling him an idiot. But hey, what the hell? Who cares? All right, guys, let me know what you think in the comments section. It's always fun times here on the Tim Black Show when we call it out. Let's see who's talking, Johnson. Black Mamba's in the house. Black Mamba. Super sticker, Johnson. Super sticker. Thank you, Black Mamba. And as always, go get a Tim Black mug at timblackmug.com. Support independent media that supports you. Go to timblackmug.com. Order your mug today. And I got the amazing, the cool, the down by law, Lou Maldonado. Lou Maldonado in the house. Give it up for him. All right, Lou, thank you, my brother. All right, Johnson, I think that's all we got. That is it, man. That is it, Lou. Thank you, Lou. All right. I think that's it. Yo, I got somebody. Floridian. Hey, Black Mamba and everyone, I'm glad to be here. We're glad to have you here. Thank you for being a subscriber of the Tim Black Show. I appreciate you. And that goes out to my people, Wagi. Jasmine sucks the soul of children to stay young. Yes, she does. People act like she's 20-something. She's almost 45 years old, man. People just put up with it. It's whatever it is, man. The Informant Media is in the house. Thank you for being a subscriber. The Informant Media. Thank you. And that's what time it is. Thank y'all. I appreciate y'all. Remember, like we always say, don't let anybody take your cornbread. And don't forget to check us out, folks. Check us out. Go to timblack.com. TimBlackTV.com is my website. Y'all got a form. You can always contact me there. If you're not good at remembering email addresses, just go to TimBlackTV.com. Online form where you can send messages from there. That's what a lot of people do. All right, Johnson, I got nothing but love for you. I'll see you soon. Don't forget, sign up on Patreon. And like always, don't let anybody take your cornbread, Johnson. That's your cornbread. And as always, where my ladies at? Where are my ladies? Oh, I gotta reset this. Where are my ladies? That's right.